Yeah, hello, I'm Bruce Lane from Cannes, where there's the festival on the Côte d'Azur, which means the French Riviera. So that's why I chose I choose uh, Azure for my backend development because I'm from the Côte d'Azur. Yeah, whatever. So uh, I'm a creative coder. I like coding since I was 14 years old. So I have several places and companies. So Sophia Digital Art, it's more about doing events. Casa, it's more like, communauté d'agglomération, it's a grouping of towns to do large projects, and also Creative Motion Studio, which is, I'm giving help to build immersive experiences with Azure Kinect and lots of fun. So, as I said, I'm a creative coder. I'm also a bass player, performing in several bands. And I'm also a visual artist. I like to mix GLSL shaders at events. This is on the right, the Plage Électronique in Cannes, which is a massive event in the summer. So I enjoy coding for fun and doing great stuff. Okay, so why do I use Ionic for websites? Because it's cross-platform. I can have the same code base as mobile apps like doing a Android app or a website, and I use the same code base, which in my uh, for me it's doing React. I love React. I've been in Ionic since the AngularJS days. So, but I switched to React like 4 years ago. And you can use capacitor plugins, and you can choose your framework like Angular, React, or Vue, or Svelte. And I like Ionic for the nice UI components and the great community that's behind it. So, great. So, for instance, I can use capacitor for websites also, and that's great because I can store things in local storage. I can also query the device to get a unique ID before the person signs up on the registers on the website. I can get a unique ID to store some information on the database. It's good for the analytics. So that's a sample code of this. So why do I use Azure? Because there's a lot and very, it's incredible because there are plenty of things happening every day, new things. There's the MS Build these days, and we can do lots of, we can address a solution of a website or whatever architecture we want to do. And we've got everything in Azure, like Kubernetes, authentication. You can do serverless if you want to reduce the costs, and messaging with WebSockets, SignalR, and having storage and virtual networks and plenty of databases. So for hosting, we have several options, like using a virtual machine, Windows or Linux. We can use app services, um, static web apps, and container apps, which is quite new. It's general availability since yesterday. So container apps, you can see it as a Kubernetes in serverless mode. So you don't have to configure everything. It's all done for you. So I will try this soon. You did an API for your application, so you can use several options using the Azure Functions, which are serverless. You can use API management, which is the full picture of you can consume other APIs and transform the data, add some authentication, and just present some APIs of your own. You can do minimal app APIs or MVC projects in C#, and also you can do your custom APIs with .NET JS with a Swagger UI if you want. So for authentication, we could use MS Identity with Azure. There's a B2C possibility for the Active Directory. You can use sign in from Twitter, Facebook, GitHub, etc. I personally use the Graph API, which is useful for Microsoft 365, and it's really nice. You can use calendars or from your Outlook, or you can query the Azure AD, etc. So, and you can use third-party solutions. For databases, I like to use serverless in Cosmos DB, which is a sort of MongoDB, but it's all in the cloud. So you can use the NoSQL databases like Cosmos DB, or you can use a standard SQL Server, which is managed as a relational database. And you have options for MySQL, Postgre, etc. So if you want to deploy your Ionic web app to a static web app, it's quite easy. You have to install a CLI, which is the static web app CLI. Then you have to log into Azure to your account, then initialize in the current folder. If you have already got Ionic project, and then it would detect the configuration and generate everything to build it and deploy it. So I think it's really great. This is quite new also. So you can use also Visual Studio Code if you don't like the command line. I'd use it with Azure extensions, which are API management, the functions API, and the static web apps. We've got also logic apps, etc. IoT things. Yeah. Okay. So how to create a project for a minimal API? You can have a Visual Studio, the community edition, and you will just create a project. And the French is here, so it's in French on my on my computer. So I would use HTTP only because could be difficult to have all the on HTTPS on your local machine. So I usually use HTTP. Then I can publish to different options like app service, like I said before, Windows or Linux, or container apps. That's new. Also, we can do a container registry or virtual machine, but you have to prepare the machine to receive the deployment. So what that's new with it's the possibility to add some a container environment where you can just push your container apps and you can deploy to them. So you have this container registry where you, when you select it, you can push your machine, which is ready to be deployed. So I wanted to do a quick demo. Yeah, I got some minutes left. So basically, that's a full solution I made, which is about org charts, and it's made. The front end is made with Ionic here, and we've got a back end with a minimal API. So I will switch to the real thing. So I'm going to hide the console here. So this is an Ionic app with using React Flow for the flowchart. You know, I can move it like this. I can add some new elements, and here I can search in Active Directory. It won't work because I have to sign in first. So I will just sign in real quick. And then I signed into my Azure AD. So now I should be able to. No, okay. Yeah, actually, I just changed a parameter here. So I have to. So this is the. Here you have to activate the access tokens here and the ID tokens, and you have for the SPA, you have to put the for cores the well, no, it's not for cores, but you have to put the direct URLs. So I'm going to try to sign in again. Yeah. Well, it's not there yet. So, but yeah, you can actually query the Active Directory, but it's not working. But yet, okay. For the C# side, we can build a Swagger API. So this is done here. So this is C# minimal API. So here you enter the course. So locally, this will go well. This is for logging. I will just log the what happens. And I add the Swagger UI here. And I just push some static JSON files here to for my API. So I think that's all for now, because we've only got 3 minutes left, and yeah, and this is the project in Visual Studio Code. So this is the front end here on the left, and this is the back end on the right. So I'm using the cards, the accordions, and etc. So this is to get that MSIL and the Graph API components for React that we can use. Okay.